Everyone, let's read a medical book together. This is a medical book published in the UK in 2025. The title is Reversion of Disease and Aging, Healthy Medicine. This chapter is 3.1 Aging. What is aging? Why do we grow old? Hello everyone. Today I'll explain what aging really is in the simplest way possible. 1. Aging actually has two types. The first is called chronological aging. This is the easiest. It's our actual age, how many years or months we have lived. Time only moves forward, and this part cannot be changed. The second is called physiological aging or biological aging. This doesn't depend on your age, but on the condition of your body's cells, organs, and molecules. Simply put, it's your body age. Interestingly, physiological aging can be slowed down and, in some cases, even partially reversed. 2. Why does aging make us more likely to get sick? As we age, the functions of our cells, tissues, and organs gradually decline. These changes make us more vulnerable to illness and increase the risk of death. Because of this, many scientists now consider aging a fatal disease since it increases the risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, chronic lung disease, kidney disease, diabetes, dementia, and a whole range of chronic disease risks. In other words, aging itself is the common root of all age-related diseases. 3. Challenges in aging research. The biggest challenge right now is that we still don't have a standard method to measure aging. So, scientists often say that all the age-related diseases a person has together form the best indicator of aging. 4. Preventive medicine is essentially anti-aging. The core concept of preventive medicine is treating disease before it occurs, preventing illness before it happens. This goal is exactly the same as that of anti-aging, keeping healthy people healthy and delaying the onset of disease. Some drugs originally used to prevent diseases, such as statins, aspirin, are now also being studied for their potential to delay aging. 5. What is anti-aging medicine? Simply put, any method that reduces age-related diseases and delays the body's decline counts as anti-aging medicine. It doesn't have to be medication. It could be lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, sleep, or other factors. To sum it up in one sentence, aging is not a predetermined rapid downhill, but a biological process that can be managed and slowed down. Prevention is the most effective anti-aging strategy. The truth about aging. What are the 9 major aging markers? How exactly does aging happen? Why do our bodies tend to have more problems as we get older? 1. Aging does not happen suddenly. It is a gradual decline in physical function. As we age, our bodies undergo several changes. Reduced physical strength, increased risk of illness, higher risk of death. These changes make us more vulnerable to conditions such as cancer, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases like dementia. The root cause of these problems is the accumulation of cell damage. 2. Scientists have identified 9 hallmarks of aging. These 9 signs are like the 9 main warning signals of physical aging. Genetic instability. The body's DNA becomes increasingly prone to errors. Telomere wear. The protective caps at the ends of chromosomes gradually shorten, leading to cell aging. Epigenetic changes. The regulatory system surrounding the DNA malfunctions, causing abnormal cell behavior. Protein imbalance. The body struggles to properly process proteins, making errors in folding or accumulation more likely. Nutrient signaling dysfunction. The nutrient instructions that cells receive become disorganized, speeding up aging. Mitochondrial dysfunction. The cell's energy factories malfunction, producing too many free radicals that harm the cell. Cellular senescence. Cells stop dividing and become retired cells, no longer functioning. Stem cell depletion. The body's repair abilities decline, leading to weaker immunity and reduced blood cell production. Abnormal cell communication. Errors in the messages passed between cells disrupt overall coordination. All these changes combined are why our bodies gradually age. 3. Aging is not destiny. It's a process that can be managed. Although this may sound a bit complicated, the key point is, aging can be delayed. As long as we make changes in our daily lives, such as balanced diet, regular exercise, adequate sleep, managing stress, regular health checkups, can help our cells stay healthy and slow the pace of aging. To sum it up in one sentence, aging doesn't happen suddenly. It results from the gradual accumulation of damage in cells. Understanding the 9 hallmarks of aging is the first step towards slowing it down. Aging's effects on the body. Changes from head to toe. What changes happen in our bodies as we grow older? Why do older adults tend to get sick more easily? 1. The challenges brought by population aging. Today, the world is facing the issue of an aging population. More than 70% of elders aged 65 and above have 2 or more chronic diseases at the same time, such as arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, stroke. The biggest challenge is how to maintain physical function, quality of life, and independence. As we get older, our body's reserve energy decreases, making it harder to recover from stress. 2. Aging affects the whole body, but each organ ages at a different rate. Our organs, tissues, and cells all gradually decline, but at different speeds. Here are some changes in key organs. Brain. After age 65, brain volume decreases and blood flow reduces. Brain cells naturally undergo apoptosis, not as a result of inflammation or stroke. Enzymes, receptors, and neurotransmitters in the brain change. Hypothalamus. The connection between the adrenal system, immune system, gut microbiome, and brain becomes unbalanced backhand index pointing right. These changes affect memory, mood, immunity, and even increase the risk of dementia. Eyes. The tissues around the eyes atrophy, and the eyelids become loose. Tear gland function decreases, making the eyes dry more easily. The conjunctiva yellows, and the cornea develops a white ring-shaped deposit, senile corneal arcus. Lens elasticity declines, and the ciliary muscles weaken, causing presbyopia backhand index pointing right, making it harder to see things up close. Hearing. The external ear canal becomes thinner. Earwax becomes dry and sticky, often blocking the ear canal backhand index pointing right, leading to hearing loss, which affects communication and safety. Sense of smell and taste. Senses become dull. Food tastes bland backhand index pointing right. This may lead to decreased appetite and poor nutrition. Red heart cardiovascular system. Aging is the main risk factor for cardiovascular diseases due to factors including increased oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, decreased ability of the heart to regenerate. Specific changes include higher risks of hypertension and coronary heart disease, stiffening of blood vessels with increased systolic and pulse pressure, weakened vascular nerve responses, leading to a higher chance of orthostatic hypotension. The left atrium enlarges, and the left ventricle becomes thicker and stiffer. Calcification of the heart valves and increased arrhythmia. Heart rate variability decreases, and the functions of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves weaken backhand index pointing right. These changes can all lead to heart failure. Respiratory system. Lung function declines, and oxygen absorption decreases. As we age, our lungs undergo the following changes. The alveoli enlarge, reducing the efficiency of gas exchange. The airways are more prone to closing, causing lower oxygen saturation. The chest wall stiffens, and the diaphragm flattens, making breathing weaker. Cough strength decreases, making it harder to clear phlegm. As a result, older adults are more prone to hypoxia, pneumonia, or chronic lung diseases. Digestive system. Changes from the mouth to the stomach and intestines. Although aging does not directly cause malnutrition, it still has several effects. Mouth. The mucous membrane thins, gums shrink, and teeth become more prone to cavities. About half of elderly people experience dry mouth, which affects chewing and swallowing. Eating becomes difficult, and nutritional intake may be insufficient. Stomach. Increased risk of gastritis. Slower gastric emptying and reduced blood circulation. Decline in gastric secretory function, reduced ghrelin and gastrin. Small intestine. Villus atrophy and thickened mucous membrane. Reduced absorption of micronutrients, but the body can still maintain balance. Large intestine. Mucosal atrophy and abnormal cells. Slower intestinal movement and increased risk of colon cancer. Aging weakens gastrointestinal function, but a balanced diet can still support good health. Hepatobiliary system. Liver function declines and risk of gallstones rises. Liver size and blood flow both decrease. Standard liver function tests show little significant change. Changes in bile composition make gallstones more likely to form. Although the liver and bile duct structures remain fairly intact, some functional decline still occurs. Renal system. Kidney function declines each year. Glomerular filtration rate decreases by about 1 milliliter per year on average. Kidney volume shrinks, blood flow reduces, and cysts may form. Vitamin D production declines, and the hormone system is also affected. Although kidney function decreases, fluid and electrolyte balance can still be maintained. Urogenital system. Challenges with urination and sexual function. Bladder contractions weaken, making urinary incontinence more likely. Urine flow slows down, with increased residual urine. The male prostate enlarges, while females may experience difficulty or pain during intercourse. Older adults are prone to urination problems and sexual dysfunction. The effects of aging on muscle, immunity, skin, and blood. What changes occur in muscles, skin, immunity, and the circulatory system as we age? Muscles and bones. Weaken strength and higher risk of fractures. As we get older, our muscles lose mass and become weaker, tire more easily, have reduced balance and lower mobility. All of these make people weaker and more prone to falls. At the same time, our bones also lose bone density, suffer from vitamin D deficiency, increased risk of fractures, and slower healing. Therefore, elderly people need to take extra care to prevent falls and fractures. Hematopoiesis and the circulatory system. Slower responses and higher risk of thrombosis. Although red blood cell lifespan and blood volume are less affected, the following occur: a decline in bone marrow quality and an increase in fat, reduced capacity for blood cell production, slower responses to hypoxia and blood loss. This makes older adults more susceptible to anemia and reduced immunity. In terms of blood, platelets respond less effectively but are more easily overactivated. Increased procoagulant substances in the blood, such as D-dimer and fibrinogen. Slower blood flow and stiffening of blood vessels. Therefore, as we age, the risk of thrombosis increases significantly. Skin becomes thinner, looser, and heals more slowly. Skin aging causes reduced elasticity and more wrinkles. Numbness, especially in the legs. Loss of subcutaneous fat, making injuries more likely. Slower metabolism and reduced repairability. Therefore, elderly skin needs special care to prevent cuts or infections. Immune system, declining defenses and increased inflammation. Immunity declines with age due to factors including a decrease in bone marrow blood-forming stem cells, weakened responses of T cells and B cells, higher risk of infections, cancer, and autoimmune diseases. In addition, older adults often experience chronic low-grade inflammation, also known as aging inflammation, inflammaging. This type of inflammation causes the body to produce pro-inflammatory factors such as IL-1, IL-6, and IL-8. Inflammatory proteins like TNF and CRP. These accelerate cardiovascular diseases, dementia, muscle loss, and even increase the risk of death. To sum it up in one sentence, aging is not just about appearance. It involves a widespread decline in systems including the brain, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, digestive system, renal system, urogenital system, muscles, blood, immune system, and skin. Understanding these changes is the first step to slowing aging and protecting your health. Do people truly believe that healthy medicine and RIC can promote wellness? Hurry and purchase a healthy RIC sphygmomanometer to enhance your health every day. Don't forget to scan the QR code. Thank you all for watching. I am Dr. Andrew Shu Lee. Until next time.